So imagine a party. A party populated with your favorite people. Some close friends and some you just met that night. But everyone's having a great time. Laughing, drinking, dancing, everything you'd expect from a Saturday night that perfectly meets all your expectations. And at the center of it all is you. You're the life of the party, and everyone can't get enough of you. You make the room more active and the conversations more interesting, and people almost seem like they're lining up just to talk to you. There's only one problem. You feel so empty inside. You're surrounded by people, and somehow you feel more alone than you ever have. You're aware of how much fun you seem to be having, and yet, for some reason, you can't wait to escape to the corner of the room and not talk to anyone. Desperate to brood in silence, or maybe even go home altogether and lay in bed wondering why you even left the house in the first place. But why do we feel that way? I used to think this was something that only happened to me until more people started talking about it, so if this is you or it sounds like someone you know, tell me about it in the comments. I'd love to know if this helps anyone. So ignoring the fact that feeling empty and alone are huge signs of depression, and if you think you feel this a little bit more frequently or intensely than the average person, you should seek professional help. Ignoring all that, we're going to see if there might be another reason for you feeling this way. I have just now come from a party where I was its life and soul. Witticism streamed from my lips. Everyone laughed and admired me. But when I went away, I wanted to shoot myself. That's a quote from Soren Kierkegaard, a Danish philosopher from the 19th century. He wrote a lot about existentialism and the anxiety that comes from existential questions, i.e. the sickness onto death. But I don't think this quote is directly concerned with anxiety or existentialism. Instead, I think it has to do with something we all do, and unfortunately, life might have made us pretty good at it. Lying. That's right, everybody lies sometimes, but if you think this video might be about you, sorry to say you might lie more often than the rest of us. Getting away from Soren Kierkegaard, we can turn our attention to psychoanalyst Carl Jung. Perhaps most known for his contributions to dream interpretation, as well as his introduction to the concept of the ego, the shadow, and the persona. For the sake of this video, we're only going to be focusing on the persona, which is the mask you wear whenever you go out into the world. Now, it doesn't take a genius to know that no one is completely themselves whenever they're around other people. And that's where the persona comes in. It's meant to be a condensed version of the totality of your identity, modified and censored for the outside world. But what happens when you modify and censor too much? Or worse, when you use your exceptional lying skills to adapt to whatever situation you find yourself in? Suddenly that mask you have on no longer represents you at all. Instead, it's representing whatever role you've decided to put yourself in for the night. To bring this all home, we're going to take a look at a personal favorite of mine, Lying by Sam Harris. It's a short essay, but a really good read. In Lying, Harris explains how every lie we tell is more harmful than we realize. Even the white lies that you might tell to get out of trouble with your parents, or the casual lies that add up to you basically becoming someone else while you're achieving your goal of being the life of the party. And this is especially harmful because if your persona is representing a false self, then it doesn't matter how many times you actually lie while you're talking. You could say the sky is blue and the grass is green all you want. It's still a lie if they think they're talking to Batman when it's really Ben Affleck. By lying, we deny others a view of the world as it is. Our dishonesty not only influences the choices they make, it often determines the choices they can make, and in ways we cannot always predict. Every lie is a direct assault upon the autonomy of those we lie to. So what is the answer? How do we do better? One method we could try is restructuring our persona to better represent who we really are. Really ask yourself what it is you want to be talking about. Really ask yourself what it is you want to share with people, and instead of trying to be somebody that the situation calls for, why don't you try constantly accepting yourself? If you do, I'm willing to bet you'll find that way more fulfilling and maybe even enlightening. After all, we don't get to choose how we're beautiful. The only choice we do have is whether or not we accept that beauty or try to cover it up with something else. But what do you guys think? Does this sound like you or someone you might know? Or maybe there's another reason why you might feel so debilitatingly depressed when you're surrounded by people. Just let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. And if this helps anyone, that would mean the world to me. That's why I make these videos, and that's why I'm going to keep making them. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. See ya.